What's up guys, welcome back again with another video of mine. And today I'm doing a deck profile for my math code, as in my Cyberse deck. So I'm going just straight into this video. So I'm beginning with a level 5 monster, which is Sim Tabular. Just reveal from hand, target one level 4 Cyberse monster in your graveyard, special summon discard, and then add the target card to your hand. So it's just for backup and some as an extender. I really like it. It comes up very often, so it's just nice. Then 3 Balance Lords. Now, well, it needs to be 3 Balance Lords. For now, it's just 2 with a Bit Trooper in it. Bit Trooper is easily summonable because of the low levels that you play. So of the level 2 and the ones, which is total of 8, if I'm correct. So Bit Trooper is just an easy special summon. Balance Lord is just one of the best starters in any Cyberse deck. So Balance Lord is needs to be on free. But I don't have a third copy of it, so that's why I'm playing Pump Bit Trooper. 2 Clock Wyverns as an extra normal summon or special summon to extend with. If it's normal or special summon, it creates you can activate this effect and create a token and halve its stats. Well, at least it's tagged to special summon 1 token. So it's essentially just a link, 2 link 1s or 1 link 2 cyberlink play, which is always neat. For the Mathmechs cards, I play 1 Addition, 1 Division, 1 Nebula, 1 Sigma, and 1 Subtraction. This is the smallest engine that I could get for this deck, because Sigma can special summon itself if you control no monster in extra mon zone. So it's a bit of a starter or an extender in some situations. Addition and subtraction can always be used on your opponent's cards or your own cards. Division and Nebula are just there for some extra options. And for when they are on the field to have their effects go through. So small Mathmech engine here for the monsters. Then there's 1 Salamangreat Foul in this deck of mine, because Foul can special summon itself if a Salamangreat monster is normal or special summoned. So it's all about special summoning this deck. Most of my decks are about special summoning most of the time. It's literally just swarming the deck and then go do your plays of the extra deck, or with the cards from your spell cards or whatever. So it's just all for extension and swarming. So Fall is essentially just for that. Then of course 2 Backup Secretary. Backup Secretary is also an easy to use special summon if you control a Cyberse monster. It's a free summon. That's it for Backup Secretary. It's just very, very nice. Then for another Salamangreat, Foxy, which can be which when normal summoned, excavate the top 3 cards of your deck. And if you excavate the Salamangreat cards, you can add it to your hands, and the rest you can shuffle it back into the deck. So it's essentially a very nice, I will say sort of started card. But if this card is in the graveyard and a face-up spell says card is on the field, you can discard 1 Salamangreat card, special summon this card. Then take 1 face-up spell says drop on the field. Then you can destroy 1 face of spell, so strap on the field. So it's also a non-destruction back row removal. So Salamangreat Foxy just has a combo with Fall and some of the other Salamangreat cards in this deck. It's small Salamangreat and Mathmechs engine in here, so it's for both. If I'm right, 5 cards of each archetype, and the rest is just generic Cyberse support, like this card, Widget Kit. When normal special summons, you can special summon 1 Cyberse monster from your hand. So, as I said earlier about other cards, it's an extender, and that's all. Catch Eve 2 is something from similar, which you can special summon if you have a level 3 or higher monster, because you can reduce that card's that level 3 or higher monster's level by 2, and then special summon Catch Eve L2. So 3 body with 800 attack and defense. We have Prohibited Snake in here, because Prohibited Snake is literally bonkers in any Cyberse deck. Even if you play 1, it still recycles itself back from your hands, essentially to the grave, from grave back to hand. So it's always, Prohibited Snake is just bonkers. Then we have also a Salamangreat Mirror as a level 2, because if this card is added to your hands, except by drawing it, you can special summon it for free. And if this card is in your hand, you can discard 1 other Salamangreat cards and special summon this card from your hand. So it's just pure for special summon. Like, for example, if you have Diplex Chimera, if you have Fusion's Diplex Chimera, activate its effects by tributing itself, you can add Silent Fusion back to your hand with a Cyberse monster, which Salamangreat Mirror is, and because it's added to the hand, you can special summon it right back on the field. It's a small little combo which I pretty much like, but almost all anytime when it's already in the grave, or if I had it in my starting hand. So it's just nice small little combo, and it also just plays really neat with all the other Salamangreat cards in this deck. Because I need to be clear, there aren't any Salamangreat spells. There isn't Salamangreat's back row in this deck. I would like to add maybe some of them, because I have them laying around here somewhere. But yeah, that's it for the Salamangreat Mirror. Of course, attack revive, if it's being used for a link summon, you can attack one other level 4 lower Cyberse monster in grave that was used as material for the link summon, special summon that's in defense position. So, and it's a once per duel. But it's just nice to essentially get one of your used link materials back to the field, so you can use it again in the same turn for another link summon, or just as an extender for some sort of play. It's also the same for Dotscaper, which is also one of which most of the cards are in this deck, but it's still all playable. Because if it's got to send to the graveyard, you can special summon it, and if it's got to spells, you can special summon. So it does 2 special summons for 1 duel, but you can use both effects just once per duel. So which means is you could just only use the first and second effect once per duel. But yeah, then Cyberse Synchron as a level 1, which is just for your synchro plays. It's not really needed. You can go. You don't really need Cyberse Synchron, because it's a level 1 which doesn't play really nice with the for example the Mathmechs synchros, but it's still a viable option to get something on your board as a defensive or as a sort of extender of some kind, like most of them are. Forward Skipper is always great to get essentially back a level 5 or higher monster to your hands if it's being used as a link material. So you can, so eventually if you use Forward Skipper for link summon, you can get back your where is it? Your Sim Tabler. Sorry for the mess. But you can get back your Sim Tabler or one of your other from your deck. I need to be clear on that. You can get one of your level 5 or higher monsters, Cyberse monsters, from your deck to the hand. So it can be just a normal monster. It can be a effect monster, or it can be a ritual monster. It doesn't matter as long as it is a level 5 or higher monster. So it's always nice. Of course, this is most of the time now, because this is a Cyberse deck and you play cards like Decode and Encode, you play also microcard. I have only one microcoder, which is really sad, because I really want to have a playset of these in this deck, but I don't really have the time and money right now to do that in this moment. So it's a shame, but its effects can be used. If it's being used, you can use it for Code Talker monsters link summon from your hand and or field, and if it's from your hand, you can either assign a spell/trap card from a deck to the hand, or if this card is used from the field, you can special summon. Was it a special summon? No, you can add one of us Cyberse monster from a deck to the hand. So microcoder is a really needed card in every Cyberse deck, so because it's just that good and that great of a card. It's a free of for sure. And because you play rituals, there's just one ritual. It's a Cyberse Magician to essentially get you in the lock. Small little lock if you want to play the lock version. But I don't play the lock version. I just play the Cyberse Magician. I don't have Cyberse Quantum Dragon. I don't know where it went or if I've sold it to anybody, but it's just I don't have it anymore as Cyberse Quantum Dragon, so I can't even create a lock now, unfortunately. So yeah, that's it for the main monsters. Onto the spells and traps. We begin with Castle Link. Castle Link is it's a secret. Now it's a neat little card which can get you one of your link monsters out of your extra monster zone to one of the zones it points to. So it's just nice. And if you have two or more link monsters on your side of the field, not the extra monster, but on the normal monster zones, you can essentially replace. You can essentially move both to this to each other's place, to each other's zone. So it's just a nice little nifty card which I really like. Cyberse Cyclone is just nice for cards against what is it, which your opponent uses as link 1s or link 2s or maybe even link 3s or 4s, because it's said you if your opponent target one link monster your opponent controls, banish one monster from your graveyard that has the same link rating as that monster. And if you do destroy that monster, then if the original type of the monster you banish from Cyberse, you can destroy one face of cards in your opponent's spell and trap zone. So it's just a simple removal option, removal card in your deck. Plus, it's a quick effect. So if you hard draw this card into your hand, you can set it. Just link summon as much as you want. Set it, and it's your. Then if it's your opponent's turn and your opponent goes into one of its links, whichever it is, you can essentially activate it. Target one of your Cyberse link monsters in your graveyard, banish it, and pop that card, and then essentially pop another card, backrow card from your opponent. So Cyberse Cyclone, I just really like it. It's backrow removal, which most of the times most decks want to use, because this is one of the only backrow removes in this whole deck. So yeah. Furthermore, the free silent backdoor, not silent mining, because I didn't pull with any of my pack luck any silent mining, or I just didn't bought them online as a card. Or I just didn't do that because most of the time it's silent mining is still expensive, and it also depends on which set it came out of. But I really want to get Silent Mining instead of Silent Backdoor, but Silent Backdoor is even as good as Silent Mining, I will say, because it just gives you an extra monster from your deck to the hands, and in the next turn, the banished monster will get back onto your field and can attack directly that turn. So it's nice, and if you've used it, it's in your graveyard, you can essentially use one of your extra deck monster cards, monster effects, to essentially get your ritual plays. Then Silent Codec, because Silent Codec is in here for your all your Code Talker plays. I myself play just 2 Code Talker monsters, but it's Encode and Decode, which is the most which are the most played Code Talker monsters in the whole deck, for the whole Cyberse monsters. So one Silent Codec is enough for me right about now. So it's just handy. It's just nice and neat. Then for real plays, like as I said earlier, the Silent Fusion and Silent Ritual for both according plays, if you want to go into them, because of Diplex Chimera here, and Cyberse Clock Dragon, because of these two you play of course the Fusion, and the Ritual you play because you play the Ritual monster, which are always on one, because that's just what you need. Just one of both cards is everything. Silent Universe is also in here. So 2 field spells. Silent Universe is just essentially give all your link monsters you control 500 attack. It is just a small little bonus. Oh, sorry, 300 attack. Plus, it has an effect for where you can use once per turn to target one monster in your graveyard and shuffle it back into your deck. So it's a recycling card on a field spell, which is just neat and easy. And if this card is destroyed by a card effect, send all monsters, extra monster zones to the graveyard. Which also just means the extra deck cards from your opponent's extra monster. I really like Silent Universe because of its recycling effects. So for the rest, there is a Mathmech Billion Blade, Nayuta, and a Mathmech Equation for the Mathmech plays, because Equation is essentially just a monster reborn for your Mathmechs, and Billion Blade is just a nice little back row equip card for any Cyberse, but most of the time for your Mathmechs, so it's just nice. And to round off the spells, Pot of Acquisitiveness, which essentially gets all your banished monsters back into the deck, and you can draw 1 card. It's a small little niche cards, I'll say, to use in this deck, because you banish sometimes a lot, and this brings it all back again into your deck, so it's all playable again. It's just a small little nice neat-ish cards which can be used in this deck. Onto the traps, there is a Mathmech Induction and a Mathmech Superfactorial. So Induction is essentially it's just a destruction card for your opponent, and it gives all your Cyberse monsters, of course, an attack power. And Superfactorial is just to use to get free of your what was it? To get the free Mathmech monsters from your graveyard back onto the field. And then you may activate one of the other 2 effects, special summon them, but the effects are negated, which is just similar. And then immediately after it, Xyz or synchro summon 1 Mathmech synchro monster, or 1 Mathmech Xyz monster using the free monsters from your field, which is just neat, because you have both cards in your extra deck to use this card as one of the Xyz and one of the synchros. which is just nice. And because you play 2 field spell cards, there's of course a metaverse to get your field cards into your hand, or just activate them directly from your deck, which is always nice. And of course the recorded life for your Code Talker plays. So that's it for the spells and traps. On to the extra deck. I will say there is no how do I say this? There is no side deck in this deck, because I didn't really need one, except for of course the extra deck. You want some other options for your extra deck if you place against certain other decks, or if you want to do just other plays. So as I showed earlier, I play one Cyberse Clock Dragon together with a Diplex Chimera for your fusion plays, which is just all and everything else. One Geomath Magma. In a side deck there is the other one, Geomath Mech Final Sigma, but it's in my side deck and not my extra deck, so you can choose which one you want to play. I really like Magma. Magma I like more, so Magma was the course of option to use for me. And with Magma, Geomagma, you have the Prime Mathmech, Leplakian, which both are just great cards to use in any other Cyberse, or just generic for a generic Cyberse deck, or in a pure Mathmech deck. So both are really great to use. So yeah. And then of course the Link Disciple and the Link Devotee to get your free Link 2 plays, and to get easy draw, and of course 2 extra tokens if you tribute the Devotee. Then for the rest, one Backup Supervisor. Backup Supervisor is just a nice and easy to use card. If you've used Backup Secretary for its Link Summon, you can essentially get when it battles, you get an extra special summon for a Cyberse monster. It's just for that, and if it's destroyed by card or if it's destroyed by battle, or if its discussed in its owner's possession is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can essentially special summon one of your Backup Secretary back onto the field from either your hand, deck, or graveyard. So it's always nice to get such effects for special summons, so you can play again. Then on to the biggest place, the Clock Spartoy, the Cyberse Wicket, and the Cyberse Witch, to get all the 3 different kinds of plays, because Spartoy is being used for your fusions, Wicket is to be used for your synchros, and of course Witch is being used for your ritual. One Security Dragon for return to hand for the return to hand effect, which is just niche. I would say now it's not really niche. It's more like I like Security Dragon, and Security Dragon is not really that bad, and it's just nice to have, because it just targets one of your opponent monsters and return it to the hand, and if it's an extra deck card, then it's going back into the extra deck. So it's just nice to get rid of some of the cards that you just can't play around. Then there's one Decode Talker for the Link Freeze, Decode Talker, Detonate Deleter, Encode Talker, and Trigate. So Decode and Encode, as I said earlier, are for certain codec. So the Decode Talk has a negation, and Encode Talk is just really nice and neat. As most of the cards I said already about in this deck profile, I just like the Encode and Detonated Deleter, because of Detonated Deleter you can get rid of certain specific cards that you just don't want to battle against from your opponent, because it just automatically destroys one of your opponent's level of non. If this card battles a non-link free or higher link monster, When it's got battles on face-up monster that is not a link 3 or higher link monster, so this means also fusion, synchro, and XE monsters. If this card battles one of those, or just a link 3 or just a link 2 or lower link monster, it's automatically destroyed. And then once per turn, you can tribute one monster at such points to then attack one monster your opponent controls, destroys it. So it's also a small little destruction effect on that. And Trigate Wizard, I don't really need to talk about Trigate Wizard, because Trigate Wizard is just that awesome. For the one token that I have, Synthetic Seraphim token, it's just the only token I have for this deck. So if I need to use multiple tokens, I use one of my destroyed monsters. So yeah, it's just one token. And then of course for the side deck, which is small as hell, because but for the side deck, there is just the 1G Mathmechs Final Sigma. There's the update jammer, and of course, and the Fire Phoenix at Ignister. Because this one here of the Ignister cards, of the Link Ignister cards, is the most generic one that you can use, and its effect isn't even that bad for even just a Cyberse deck. So I really like this card, but I don't main deck it because I have already 4 other cards, 4 other link free cards. So if I really want to use this card, I just need to side deck it out for one of the other link free cards. And Final Sigma is actually just the same case. But I really like this deck. I've played it. I've test played it a little bit here and there, and it plays nicely. I really like how this deck plays, and you can really get super fast down with your main deck, because you can almost if you want in one turn, you can get rid of your whole entire deck and just essentially deck out in just one turn, for example. And I think that's funny, and I just like it how this whole deck plays. I just like it. So I will say thank you for watching, and I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please leave a like. And if you consider to watch more content like this, please subscribe, which you can do by following the link down below in the description under the social media social media section. You can find all my other info about my social media. So I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.